Welcome to the stream. Welcome. Hope everyone's had a great day. And of course, the biggest news of today in the world of Arsenal. It feels like Christmas has come a tiny bit early, doesn't it? Christmas has come a bit early. Basically, the biggest news, arguably in a very long time, struck Arsenal in terms of the fact that Edu Gaspar has left Arsenal, and I'm not gonna lie, pretty much with immediate effect. Because he has left Arsenal and he has already found a new job. He will gonna work at Nottingham Forest, overseeing also Olympiacos, Rio Ave, and what other teams they gonna take over. We're gonna speak about that in a second. But overall, during morning, the news broke by Sam Mogbel, and then it basically slowly and steadily picked up the pace because as well as Fabrizio Romano started to report this, and it basically escalated pretty much like wildfire, straight up during the day. And as you see, Nathan is also super happy. Big up Nathan in the chat. He's saying Independence Day. It's basically like Christmas has come early. I genuinely believe so. One down, one to go. At least. Would be nice if three to go in terms of obviously Cronkies, but it is what it is. But one down, one to go. But basically, what this means, it's a very weird feeling at the moment. Because I'm gonna lie, I'm very happy that he's gone because he has done, I won't say very questionable job at Arsenal with spending 700 million and all that stuff, but there is also this other side that very wants to, in me, play the devil's advocate in this instance, because this basically has coin with two sides. Either Edu screwed it up or Mikel Arteta screwed it up. One of the two, because we will talk about the power struggle at the top and everything in a second, but it generally kind of feels that way. We're gonna go over also all the Edu signings over the years at Arsenal. We're gonna look at them, see if it was a money wasted, money well spent, and stuff like that as well during today's stream. So if you're ready, subscribe, like, comment, get live interactive in the chat. And let's do this basically. Let's do this because I'm kind of lost for words. I technically have had over 12 hours to prepare for this, but at the same time, I'm not prepared whatsoever because how do you speak when someone leaves your club? It's kind of impossible. Can he take Jesus with him? To be honest, he unfortunately can't. Unfortunately, he can't. Big up, Nathan. Big up. Thank you very much. Thank you. On to 400 we go. Hopefully, we can reach that by the end of the year in 2 months. And this is the big thing. Apparently, Arsenal themselves are were very surprised by Edu's decision. And nobody was expecting that. And apparently, it was one of the reasons why Arteta also signed that 3-year deal. Because Edu was his right-hand man, and there was no indication of him leaving. So this now raises the big question. Either Edu basically realized that the damage is done, there's no recovery from this, the ship is slowly sinking, the wheels are falling up, and he's decided to jump ship. Or he just got sick and tired of the role he was given. Because there were rumors when Mikel Arteta signed the extended contract that he would get some new, deeper, extended roles, which maybe kind of were throwing a few rocks into Edu's garden. He stepped on some toes in that regard, and Edu didn't like it because Edu's plan, apparently, according to, again, rumors, of course, because we won't know the story until someone actually says this, was that he wanted to become a CEO at Arsenal, but there was no chance with Arteta and everyone there. It was no chance, so he got a chance to do that at Nottingham Forest under Evangelos Marinakis, who owns Nottingham Forest, Olympiacos, Piraeus Olympiacos, Rio Ave, and apparently any other team that they're gonna take over under Marinakis. Edu is gonna become a CEO of all of them. So Edu's salary allegedly has been tripled, which basically, let's be real, chasing the bag, sucking toes, and all that stuff actually looks like it's working out for him quite a bit in that regard. Yeah, we at the moment have this thing. Edu's salary is tripled, yeah, apparently. We need to bring someone serious in now because it has opened a door for very big chance. The issue with this is, though, there is one big issue with this. Because as we all know, it came to a shock to everyone and all that stuff. But there is something in this regard. Where is it? 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 If I can find it in a second. There's one week on you sign a contract. See, this was one of the biggest reasons why everyone was shocked, basically. It has come as a surprise to Arsenal that Edu Gaspar wants to leave the club. When Mikel Arteta signed the new contract, which we gave him in September, 15 million a year for the next 3 years, till 2026, I think it is, Edu outlined new long-term ambitions and showed no sign of leaving his role. So either he's chasing the bag, or he's chasing the bag and he has some bigger plans. And obviously it looks like Arsenal couldn't provide him with basically those plans in terms of maybe growing in a role and everything, and he decided it's time to go. Also, I think it also might be something to do with the fact that this summer was the first summer, pretty much like ever, when Arsenal have made net profit on spendings. They sold more than they brought in. So maybe also the fact that he had no money played some partial role in that regard. But the thing is, where we are. I want to find this now. Here it is. Here is the big thing, and I think this is one of the biggest reasons why I think Edu kinda also doesn't like certain things, is the fact that Mikel Arteta, with the new contract and everything, has such control of the club that basically he has a hand in every single department, in every single section of the club, in terms of the fact that he can make major decisions. I'm hella red today. Wait, let me fix this. Do I look better? I look better. He makes major decisions in many aspects of the game and in many aspects of the team, which means that Arteta at the moment is the main guy calling the shots. That's how basically at the moment it looks like. All major decisions at the club are taken by the football leadership team of Arteta, Garlic, Tim Lewis, and whoever else. So basically that means nothing through this club, in this club, at this club, around this club happens without Arteta knowing it. Which kind of leads me to believe it's a massive dictatorship at the club as well. Which again, can go two ways. Either it will be great, but we haven't seen dictatorships actually be very good in politics and in leading countries many times. So it might actually not go based on previous past experiences. So the other side of obviously is very dark. It will all come down, crash and burn. And Arteta basically by the end of this season, I hope at least, if it crashes and burns, actually has a brain cell and has balls himself to basically quit. That's the thing. If everything comes crashing down, I hope he has the balls to quit. Because I can see this again. If we fail this season to win nothing, not win Premier League, all that stuff, we might come to summer transfer window and then say, oh, Edu leaving was one of the main reasons why we didn't win anything. And we will be set back many years, and that will again mean that we will go from phase 5 to phase 2. And we're gonna start this whole journey of development, of phases, and all that crap again. There is a big possibility that it could happen. And if that happens, I beg these top gooners open eyes, and there are riots at the club, protests and all that stuff. I genuinely hope so. But the thing is, Edu has done that with immediate effect. Obviously, it came as a shock. But to be honest, kind of the proof is in the pudding if you think about this. Because David Ornstein, 2 weeks ago, reported this, basically. Exclusive: Arsenal to appoint James King as Director of Football of Operations. Rejoins at Arsenal after leaving PFA in 2022. Takes Garlic's spot and everything. And it's very interesting because Arsenal signed him, and here it is. Arsenal Sporting Director agrees to join group controlled by Nottingham Forest. Basically, Edu jumped ship, and at the moment is sitting third in the table. Because Nottingham Forest are third, aren't they? Third in the table, they're ahead of us. As wild as it sounds, Nottingham Forest are ahead of us, and they are above us as well. He basically traded up. He genuinely traded up. But the interesting part in all of this is that Nottingham Forest and Marinakis consider the Brazilian key figure for the project. It's like Nottingham Forest never learned. They had Matt Turner from us, they had Nuno Tavares from us, and that didn't work out well for them. That did it. So where is the indication that it will work out for Arsenal signing Edu as well? Because if they go only what Arsenal fans are saying, there would be no chance in hell that they would sign him based on also what he has done. Obviously, you cannot kind of dismiss the fact that he has done some positive things at Arsenal, some positive signings and everything. But the overall situation, overall surroundings, information, and everything that's gathered around this position, and with Edu and everything he has done, it's not in the best of lights, is it? Because personally, for Edu, what he has done at Arsenal, I would give 5 out of 10. I genuinely would give 5 out of 10. Yes, there were some very dark times, but there have been also some very good times. I'm giving 5 out of 10 solely the fact that he has done something. Overall, if I had to look this with basically a fresh eye, with the fact that players he has signed, he has maybe sold and everything, I'm giving 2 out of 10. The thing is, the only reason I'm giving him like 5 out of 10 is the fact that I personally don't know the reasons why we don't sign certain players and we don't sign and we don't spend in windows, especially in January transfer window. That is the sole reason, because there are too many variables to take into context for this to basically put it all on Edu. But there's no question or shadow in doubt that Edu's time at Arsenal as a sporting director, chief of operations, whatever he was at the time, and he has been, it's very mediocre. 4 out of 10, 5 out of 10 if you push it. So we will look at the players he has signed and we're gonna rate them in a second. But yeah, it's not looking too good in that regard. And it basically escalated quite quick in terms of about 8 to 10 hours. He's out of Arsenal already at Nottingham Forest. For me, the biggest issue with all of this is, though, this part. Where is it? 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 Here is it. Where is it? Here we go. The biggest thing for me is the power struggle upstairs, with Mikel Arteta basically becoming a bit of a more of a dictator at the club at the moment, with calling all the shots, having hands in all of the cookie jars possible at Arsenal. It feels like Kroenke is really trust Arteta, have given him free reign at the wheel basically, and he's calling all the shots. And it showed. In a way, it showed because as one of the people I follow on Twitter, he follows me as well. We chat on very rarely, but on occasion as well about Arsenal. And we tend to agree on these things as well. There definitely was a power struggle this summer, especially. The Athletic said that hierarchy weren't sure about Calafiori and Merino, but Arteta pushed hard for it. He didn't agree to a new contract until after the window was closed. I think he said, "Get the players I want, or I am not signing." And it definitely felt that way. It definitely felt that way. Because this was a very slow market for Arsenal in general. It took us more than a month to sign Calafiori, a month to sign Merino, who was on last contract of his time in the last year of his contract at Real Sociedad. And the signings were coming very, very slow. We didn't get Sesko, we didn't go for Gyökeres, Nico Williams. Half of the players, well, not half, 99% of the players we were linked with, we didn't go for. And we went for certain players. And Arteta is also, and here's the part of this article as well, as Arteta is also prepared to agitate for the signings he feels he needs. He knows how to manage up as well as down, says one of Arsenal's sources, obviously, who wants to stay anonymous for professional reasons. If he really wants a player, he'll go into the trenches to get the deal done. And he's demanding. The team always comes first, but he knows what he wants and he's prepared to dig in to get it. So basically, reading stuff like this makes me now start to think, who really is behind the fact that we signed Kai Havertz? Because we more or less put it on Edu and then we put it on Arteta. But based on all of this, it's all on Arteta. Basically. Same goes, for example, with Merino. It also is all on Arteta. Calafiori, I don't know on who, but it looks like as well it's all on Arteta. Because again, why the delays in signings? Because despite Arsenal's confirmed interest, a formal offer did not arrive until August, and that was about Merino. We were interested in Merino for basically since Euros. Since Euros ended, mid-July. And we basically put in bid until early August. So that again is the thing. And there is the big kicker in all of this is the fact that there was disputes in hierarchy whether Merino fits the profile we need at Arsenal. It was coming out during the transfer window and everything. And at the time, I was one of them as well because I personally wanted Fabian Ruiz instead of Mikel Merino. Mikel Merino wasn't even the best midfielder at Real Sociedad because Zubimendi 100% is better than him. Bryce Mendes is also better than him. That other player who plays as number 10, I forgot his name. He has definitely that type of Andalusian name and everything. He also plays better than him. Merino wasn't even the best midfielder at Real Sociedad's team. Yes, he scored for Spain at Euros, so basically that's what everyone's basing it all on. There definitely were disagreements on signing Merino. That's the thing, while Arteta was convinced that Merino was the right fit, there were some high-level conversations among the hierarchy at Arsenal about whether it was right deal to do. And I strongly believe, given the reins Arteta has at the wheel and how demanding and how narcissistic and stubborn he is, it's not the only player we have signed that way. And I start to think that it's more on Arteta than Edu, the way we sign players. Because I believe maybe Edu actually wants to sign a striker. Mikel Arteta just doesn't. It's starting to look that way as well. Yes, at the moment I'm defending Edu. I'm looking like basically playing devil's advocate here and all that stuff. That doesn't change the fact that I think Edu's reign at Arsenal at best is 4 out of 10. Genuinely, that doesn't change the fact. We're gonna look at the players he has signed and you will see why. But at the end of the day, it looks like it's now getting more and more on Mikel Arteta than Edu himself. It looks like Edu just got sick and tired of the dictatorship and the stubbornness and everything from Mikel Arteta basically at the end of the day. It generally looks that way. The wheels are starting to fall off Arsenal. We are playing worse and worse. We don't have certain players in the team that could do the job. Our bench is basically useless. Our bench basically, at the moment, is like basically this old park bench where usually you have like two planks over it, but both of them are half broken, all wet from all the rain, half over. If you sit on it, basically, if you breathe on it, it breaks. And every single summer, what Arsenal does is take a new coat of paint it over, and it basically looks like a new thing. And that's why all the Top Gooners, Arteta sexuals, Arteta only fans are saying, oh, we had 8 out of 10 window. But really we didn't. Because we signed same level of players, if not worse than we already have, that we just got rid of. And again, this is now on Edu. And again, this is on Arteta. So I think as much as Edu is at fault to certain level of signings, there goes also Arteta. And I think Edu just got sick of tired of the fact that Arteta is calling all the shots. And I think they just didn't give him Edu the freedom on certain level. And now specifically with the new contract where it looks like Arteta basically is taking over partially what Edu does to some extent, given that how much control he has over the club inside the club by the reports and how everything is going. I think he just felt like Arsenal players on the pitch, boxed in, handcuffed, without letting to express themselves. Because on the pitch you can see that as well. Our players are getting hella frustrated, hella pissed off with the way we play. And I think sooner or later they either will turn on Arteta or they will hand in a transfer request. And once that happens, we may kiss for the next 5-6 years of Arsenal being even challenging goodbye. That's how I see it at the moment. Who we are linked with to replace Edu? Actually, ironically enough, there are no links. Maybe there are, but I haven't seen any. That's how weird it is. That is the weird thing. That's how it is. Exactly. Saka said twice in interviews that he wants to attack more. I think it's somewhere here as well. I think it was, I read it today. I think it came out recently on October. Bukayo Saka said it as well, that Saka admits that Arteta insists. This is the thing. This is the one. Basically, Bukayo Saka admits that Arteta insists on Arsenal strikers doing defensive duties first, which just shows that Arteta is killing Arsenal from inside on the pitch. If you, as a striker, as an attacker, who you have been signed for, your main task is to go score goals and win games, your manager is asking you to basically park the bus and defend first, you're done and dusted. Because you spend more energy at the back and then you have no energy to go forwards, hit them on a counter, hit them with when you control possession. You basically are spent by the 70th, 80th minute. And if you're losing or drawing and you need the win, you cannot do anything almost. You basically are run out of steam by that time. Saka has said it multiple times. Multiple times. Not the first time and not the last time as well we will hear this. I genuinely believe that our players are starting to get sick of these Mikel Arteta tactics. You've noticed how nobody complained 2 seasons ago when we were playing attacking, expansive football, when we were scoring goals, having fun on the pitch, and everyone was fine and dandy. Odegaard had pretty much season of his life. Bukayo Saka at the time as well. Jesus was scoring goals before he got injured, of course. Martinelli was had season of his life. Since then, since Arteta completely has changed the tactic to defend first and then go on attack, Martinelli pretty much is a cone on the pitch. He does nothing. His development, his goal scoring opportunities, everything has been limited, have been absolutely destroyed. And he's not clinical enough to score one chance out of one chance out of 3. I think his belief and trust and confidence also because of these tactics is shot to pieces pretty much. I genuinely believe that Edu is going more because of Mikel Arteta, that he's basically is sick of him. Because the way this power struggle is looking also in the transfer window, it just shows that it's all not as fine as sunshines, rainbows, roses, crap like that at Arsenal. It's actually getting worse and worse. And people are saying, oh, it was a toxic environment when Emery was here. We are going back to that at the moment. Because there is no chance in hell that out of nowhere Wilshere leaves. There's no chance in hell that other one left, Wittgenstein left by himself. No chance Edu just decides to leave on his own. There's no chance that he would randomly swap Arsenal for Nottingham Forest. Yes, the 3 times salary increase because he has to manage 3 clubs and he's the CEO now is very lucrative offer, let's be real. But there is no chance that there's certain things are not adding up. The math ain't mathing in this regard. And I strongly believe that very soon, if we, let's just say, lose to Inter, lose to Chelsea, maybe it's a draw here or there against weaker side, players will turn on Arteta. Because if Bukayo Saka, one of our main guys, if not the main guy, right, is saying stuff like this already, it's not looking good. Because you can take it for the face value saying that Arteta is very demanding, he wants his attackers to defend. But no, it isn't. Let's be real. Which attacker in the world football you know wants to track back to his own box and defend? Which one? Which one? I understand defending till center line, maybe like 1/3 into your own end. But to basically camp on your own box, nobody wants to do that, let's be real. Because half the time we hoof the ball up the pitch and there's nobody to hoof it up to. Because Saka half the time does the hoofing. And who is up there? Oh, only the opponent's players. I think Arteta slowly, the way we are playing at the moment, the tactics he's deploying is ruining the club. And it won't be long until Saliba hands in transfer request, and I kid you not, Real Madrid, PSG, the club's already circling, we all know. Same will go for Saka, Gabriel, and players like that. I think Gabriel partially already is pissed for the fact that he last year started on the bench while Partey was playing right back. He hasn't forgotten that, let's be real. Top Gunners have forgotten that most likely. But Arsenal fans who are a fake doesn't forget things like that. 100% they don't. That is also a big thing. Club needs to work quick before. Exactly. Club needs to work before January window. The thing is, though, do you have belief and trust in Arsenal that for once in their life, in January, they will do something? Because we haven't seen it yet on proper level. We haven't seen it yet. When we have seen it Arsenal last time, out of nowhere, for no apparent reason besides improving the squad to push on to go in January and do massive business. When have we ever seen that? When? Under Kroenkes, when have we seen that? Just think about it. When have we seen that? Like, seriously. When have we seen that? That is the big thing. And of course, the dark side of Edu, as much as I'm defending him and everything, that it's also on Arteta, I think, that Arteta is kind of pissed him off and everything, all that stuff. Here are the players Arsenal had chance to sign under Edu while he was at the wheel, but we just didn't. For one reason or the other, or Edu doesn't have the pull, or he just cannot negotiate, or ultimately we were too slow. Rafinha, Šeško, Kudus, Caicedo, Mudryk, Vlahovic, Locatelli, Zubimendi, Estevao, Lavia, Douglas Luiz, Nico Williams, Isak, Simmons, Diomande, Gundogan, Onana, Bruno Guimaraes, Lucas Paqueta, Lisandro Martinez, Nkunku, and Yves Bissouma. Just to name a few main targets we never got. And that's the big thing. These actually are somewhat confirmed targets for Arsenal. These are not out of nowhere random ones like Fofana comes out of nowhere or something like that. Or we get linked randomly with a player in Turkey like Yilmaz or something like that. These were actual interests. Bruno Guimaraes even took Mick out of us when he signed for Newcastle, who beat us, by the way, a few days ago. Arsenal were in for Lisandro Martinez before we signed Yuri and Timber. That was 1 year later. We wanted Lisandro Martinez before Manchester United. Let's not forget that. Zubimendi as well, there was concrete interest. But for some reason, at the time, we didn't go for Zubimendi because he wanted to stay in Spain. And we went for Merino. Fourth best midfielder in the Real Sociedad's team who are 10th in La Liga. Why didn't we go for Fabian Ruiz? Like, why? What was the reason? We had the chance to sign Douglas Luiz from Aston Villa for 35 million. And we didn't. 1 year later, straight after that transfer window, he signs a contract extension. Year later, he goes to Juventus for 40 million. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? We had a chance to sign Mudryk. Obviously, it hasn't worked out for him at Chelsea, but at the same time, he got beat for us signing Mudryk. Yes, we signed Trossard. Ultimately, you could say it worked out for us, luckily. But we wanted Mudryk first, and we just didn't get him. We wanted Caicedo. We wanted Kudus properly. Arsenal just weren't ready to act. Again, it's on Edu. Šeško, he turned us down. Again, it's on Edu. Because Arsenal have this thing when they just don't go like a big club, puts the cash on the table and goes and takes it. Or calls the other team's bluff. Put the money, take it or leave it. We try to negotiate. We basically try to haggle over a few million, as we saw it last summer, summer before. And by the end of this negotiation, every single club is sick of us. They don't want to deal with us anymore. And that's about it. And that is a reoccurring theme every single transfer window. And that, this time, is on Edu. Edu as well said himself, I have good knowledge of the Brazilian market. Where is this knowledge coming from? Where are all the Brazilians, the Estevaos, for lack of better argument, next Vini Jr., Rodrigos, players like that, Bruno Guimaraes, next Bobby Firmino, where they are at Arsenal? Only good Brazilian he has signed is Gabriel. Rest of them, Jesus, David Luiz, Willian, Marquinhos, who should have been a free signing, but we paid free money out of our own pocket to keep good relations with Sao Paulo. And since then we have done nothing in terms of deals with Sao Paulo. And by the way, he's still here, by the way. Don't forget, if you have forgotten about Marquinhos, don't worry. By the way, don't worry. In January, season ends. He is coming back in January. Where are the good Brazilians? I have good knowledge of the transfer of Brazilian market. On top of that, Edu said, be excited by the end of transfer window. The project is about to go bang. Where is the bang? Is the bang him leaving the club? Is the bang ending transfer window with net profit and signing Neto, who is cup-tied, washed Raheem Sterling, and random cauliflower, a random, I don't know, Italian fruit pretty much, who we don't know what he's gonna be. A Merino who cannot run, who cannot pass, who cannot dribble, who basically is 3 times worse than Granit Xhaka. Basically, it's Mikel Elneny, Mohamed Merino. Basically, that's what we have in the midfield for 35 million. Is that the thing we had to be excited about? Or what? This project is about to go bang. You will be excited. Well, we are excited. The fact that you're leaving, that's why we are excited. But let's be real, when he said that, nobody had this thought in their minds. They thought we will sign Gyökeres, Nico Williams, we will go for some proper bowlers. But no, definitely not. We sell all the club we sell everyone we can afford to sell. We make our squad by 3 players thinner than year before. We sign more defenders. We don't sign any attackers. Arteta still hasn't signed a striker. We still haven't replaced Golden Boot winning Aubameyang at Arsenal. And we are just winging it. And this season just shows that how bad we are. Last season, we had the best defense in the league. Same players, same situations. Where? Where has this all gone? White is there, Saliba is there, Gabriel is there, Kivior, Zinchenko are there. That was our left back for most of the time. We concede goals every single game, and not just 1, sometimes 2, 3 goals. What are we doing here? Our midfield has gotten worse, more disbalanced. Then we play our best midfielder at right back. We have like 5 left backs in the team, yet we play a right back, right center back at left back, and now then we have to shoehorn our best midfielder at right back? What are we doing here? What are we doing here? Seriously. Like, what is happening? What is this club doing? Like, this all falls not only on Edu, as I'm ranting about this right now, but it falls on Mikel Arteta. And I think genuinely, Edu Gaspar finally got sick of Mikel Arteta and he decided to leave. And I wouldn't be surprised that sooner or later, our players will slowly start to follow this lead. I wouldn't be surprised at all. Genuinely wouldn't be surprised. And to add on top of all of this, today's news coming out that apparently Paris Saint-Germain have reportedly made a 95 million euro bid to sign Arsenal centre back William Saliba. Now the question is, how much would you take for Saliba? I would say 120 to 150, no less. But that's not the point in this instance. Do you think other clubs, big clubs, don't want some Arsenal players? Gabriel, Odegaard, Saliba, Ben White to some extent, Saka. There are some clubs that would take Martinelli because if you put him a proper system, he actually is a baller. We saw it 2 years ago. Since we switched away from that system, he's basically a nobody in the team at the moment. Don't you think there aren't players that other teams want? They keep their hand on the pulse about these situations. And as soon as the wheels start falling off, they know that other players' minds also start to shift around. They have certain doubts starting to kick in. And they will try and get their chance before everything goes haywire. And they will try and go for some of our best players. We have to prepare for that if wheels legitimately come off. Because so far, let's just say Arsenal have 4 wheels and 3 of them are still holding on. One has pretty much has come off in terms of Edu leaving. We are there. We are there where other clubs are sniffing out, the situation, what's happening at Arsenal. They're keeping their hand on the pulse. They're following all this fallout at the moment, although it doesn't seem too big of a deal. But over extended period of time, it could get worse, especially if in January we go with no plan, no sporting director, no nothing. It all will be on Arteta. It will be hell on earth, let's be real. And if they follow these things, and if push comes to shove, there will be a point where something like this comes to life. It won't be just an offer. It will be actually consideration from the club. The player will give the green light, because how long will they suffer on some level under Mikel Arteta? Because Saka admits, as we talked about it here, that Arteta insists on Arsenal strikers doing defensive duties first, which means he wants to defend instead of attack. Paella Pulis, as he gets called. Wannabe Jose Mourinho. At least Jose Mourinho could park the bus, defend, and could hit you on a counter and score. Arsenal parked the bus and they still concede 2 goals. On the counter, Arsenal are lucky to even get a shot off target these days. We get happy in the last few 3-4 games that we get a shot on target. That's how low we have fallen at the moment. And if you are all relying on one player in Martin Odegaard to come and change this club fully around, let's be real. It's a very big long shot. Because you cannot depend on one player for your whole season to be rescued. If you are a serious club, you want to challenge, you want to go for the glory. You need to challenge in every single front, and you need challenges and you need competition in every single position. You need a backup for Saka who can push him. You need 2 strikers who can push each other. You need a backup for Odegaard who pushes Odegaard to his max to get better. You need a proper midfield. You need a proper left back, left wing. You need those players. But what Arsenal does? Nothing. They made the club in this summer transfer window. They have made the club worse in the window that just happened. And that, my friends, is the hard truth. Let's be real. If you don't like it, you can easily click off the stream. I'm not gonna lie. But if you agree, let me know. Let me know what you think in the chat and everything. If you're new around here, subscribe, like the thing and everything. Get live interactive. But at the moment, bad news are coming one after another. Don't be surprised if there's a kit being dropped soon just to try and take our minds off it. Because as soon as something goes wrong at Arsenal, we see a new kit, new training suit, we get a dog, we might as well get a new cat right now and call Hope, Pray, or Title, or whatever, and just move on. Because slowly and steadily, this club is starting to unravel. And the quicker people realize this, the better it will be for the club. Let's be real. And of course, see, as soon as this happens, these news start to come out. As soon as something like that happened, PRFC, as soon as Edu is gone, all of a sudden, Arsenal are lining up West Ham's Mohamed Kudus as a 90 million replacement for Leandro Trossard, who has been targeted by Al Ittihad. Instantly. Pretty much straight up of press. Exactly. 95 million is not his price tag. Nice one. A big up Nick in the chat. Exactly. They signed him for 40 million. Arsenal could have signed him for 40 million. That's the thing. Kudus plus Madison, when that 2 summers ago, was Havertz plus 10 million. You want to tell me that us signing Kudus and Madison for Arsenal would not have been better than signing that donkey who basically barely can kick a ball properly? Who has donkeys as pets pretty much? And one of them is called Hope. You really want to tell me that? 6'4" guy who cannot ball in the air, who cannot win headers, who barely can win headers, who runs like he's shot with a tranquilizer dart, and everything. You see, you say that Madison is trash, but 2 years ago with our midfield, it wouldn't be the worst if we can take him on proper wages. If you don't want to take Madison, then think about this before. Kudus at the time, 40 million. You have around 30 million still to spend. Then you go and you add 10 million on top of that. That's about 40 extra million you can... At that summer, who else went? For 50 million they signed Lavia. So technically, Kudus, no, it was 35 plus 5 for Kudus or something like that. Anyways, Kudus plus Lavia is 85 million. You want to tell me that Arsenal, when they signed Havertz and gave them 265 grand a week, didn't have extra 20 million to put it on top and sign Lavia or Onana, whoever that was at the time, I'm mixing them up at the time, together with Kudus? You want to tell me that at the time that wasn't an option? You think Arsenal are broken? Arsenal are broke? They're homeless or something like that? They have the money. They have the money. And we again now fall back to the situation we discussed about 10 minutes ago, where we talked about that Mikel Arteta basically is calling all the shots. And that is the case, isn't it? Let's be real, the more we look at transfers that has come through, that we are not signing and that we are selling and all that stuff, it's actually the truth, isn't it? Because we sold Emil Smith-Rowe. Emil Smith-Rowe wanted away. Why? Because he didn't have playtime. Half a year ago in January, Arteta said he has an important role to play in title race. He will have some serious minutes. He played one or two games as starter. Against Luton as a starter at home, he got man of the match. And since that game, he had a few games where he played 10 to 20 minutes random cameos as a sub off the bench pretty much. That's how Emil Smith-Rowe got treated. And then you're wondering why players like Chido Obi Martin want to leave without getting into the team. I wouldn't be surprised if Wanjeri gets pissed off this treatment as well. Because technically, this 17-year-old guy should be our creative spark while Odegaard is out, because you binned off Emil Smith-Rowe. You loaned out Fabio Vieira back to the club. You bought him for 35 million 2 years ago. So basically that only leaves who? Ethan Wanjeri. But what you do, you decide to play Trossard there, you decide to play Havertz there, you decide to play goddamn Merino there, have the time on the pitch when Calafiori playing, he's at that time for some weird goddamn reason. When we attack, and then when we are 2-0 down against Bournemouth, 1-0 down against Newcastle, you decide to throw this poor fella randomly into the game and decide, go save us, be our savior, save our season. Basically, that's what you're saying. Without any games, without Premier League game experience, against teams where he should be doing good, teams like Southampton, Leicester City, where these games at home he should be starting in the first place while Odegaard is out, when he could get the experience, get accustomed to situations. Because let's be real, as soon as Wanjeri came out, Joe Willock, ex-Arsenal, came in and instantly smashed into his legs, clamped him up like no tomorrow, got a yellow for that if I'm not mistaken. Why? Because Wanjeri is young. To make him overthink every other thing he does. To make him panic when he gets the ball at his feet. Because he isn't used to these situations. Why? Because you don't play him in the Premier League almost whatsoever. You much rather play your Jesus, your Sterling, your baby boy Sterling. You want to play those guys. When, by the way, when Ethan comes on for 5 to 10 minutes and random cameos, does better than Jesus and Sterling combined on the pitch, by the way. And let's be real, when Arteta signed, oh, look how he helped Sane, look how he helped Sterling to develop them. Where is that at Arsenal? Where is the Martinelli development? Where is Bukayo Saka development? Where was Reece Nelson's development? Where was Fabio Vieira's development? Oh, right. We don't develop them. We box them in certain tactics and don't let them express themselves. We play as Arteta wants, without letting them to be the best they can be, basically. We saw that for one season, the attacking football. After that, we saw nada. And now I hear links again, they still persist today, that Arsenal are linked with Leroy Sané. What is Mikel Arteta doing? Trying to build an ex-Man City team? Sterling on the left, Sané on the right, Jesus down the middle, Zinchenko at the left back? Like, what are we doing here? Is he building an ex-Man City team? Dude, it's about 6 years too late to do that, isn't it? And even then it wouldn't be good enough to win Premier League right now, with the tactics you are deploying. Like, what the hell is this? This is all, I'm more pissed at Arteta than Edu at the moment. Because I'm starting slowly to believe that the big reason why Edu has left is Mikel Arteta. That's the reason why Edu has left, because Mikel Arteta has gotten so much power at Arsenal that it's basically has, just like our players on the pitch, it has boxed in Edu in a way that he cannot move, he cannot be himself, he cannot express himself, he cannot try and do the best he can do. That's how I'm starting to feel now. And this last window where there were discussions in hierarchy that Merino is not good enough, that Calafiori should not be signed and stuff like that, that just shows it. Let's be real, because Mikel wanted those players, Edu probably had different players. And if that is the case, when Edu just says, I have scouted players, for example, he has scouted 3 strikers, he has scouted 2 left wingers, right wingers, he gets Mikel Arteta those lists, right? Mikel says, no, I want a left back. I wouldn't be surprised if that is the case. But okay, let's be real. Edu hasn't done a great job at Arsenal. I'm giving him 3 out of 10. The more I'm talking, the more I realize. I'm giving Edu 3 out of 10 at Arsenal. 3 out of 10 for the time he's been here as sporting director, director of operations, whatever he has been at Arsenal. I'm giving him 3 out of 10. Kudus, exactly. These prices these days are nuts. Kudus and Tony, yeah, Kudus and Tony was easily available. Let's be real as well. Away, exactly, 90 million is way above his price. But if you want the player, that's the price you have to pay. Same was with Declan Rice. Is Declan Rice 105 million player? No, he's not. I would say Declan Rice at best is about 60, 65 million player. But hey, Premier League tax, English tax, and all that crap have to pay on the top. Heart on a free, don't even. Let's be real. Edu as well was responsible for the fact that we sacked all the scouting department that got us William Saliba as well. That scouted William Saliba and players like that. Let's not get it wrong. But if we look, Edu Gaspar has been at Arsenal since 2019. So basically at the same time when Mikel Arteta came in. Let's be real. Let's look at some signings Edu Gaspar has made and look at them how well we have spent our money. Whoa. Anyhow, Nicolas Pepe. Still believe he would cook at Arsenal if Mikel Arteta wasn't here, but we had a different manager who plays to his strengths. Let's be real. Because I strongly believe the way we played 2 seasons ago, with expansive attacking football, Nicolas Pepe would thrive in that style. Because he did it at Lille before we signed him from there. And he's somewhat doing this still at the moment at Villarreal. Right now. I still believe that. But 80 million, we had a chance to sign Wilfried Zaha. Apparently, and it's been said at the time still, it was the fact that Crystal Palace wanted about almost all money up front. Lille was willing to take all these 72 million pounds in installments. So the thing that we got mocked the most about basically came to tuition. That's why we signed Nicolas Pepe. But Emery wanted Zaha at the time. William Saliba. Arguably the best signing Edu Gaspar has made at Arsenal. Let's be real. Arguably the best signing he has made. Kieran Tierney. One of, I would say the 3rd best signing he has made at Arsenal. I would say the 3rd or 4th best signing he has made at Arsenal. Still our best left back in the team, and if we had a proper manager who didn't do all this inverted crap, I would start Kieran Tierney. I still can imagine him as a left back, as a left wing back at the 3 at the back or 5 at the back, whatever you want to call it. Him running down the left side, crossing it in. Similarly, like for example, Frimpong does it by Leverkusen and players like that. I think he would cook in that environment. One of the Brazilians, Edu's infamous Brazilians, who was crap and no thanks. 9 million for that guy, 9 million euros. Then we signed Pablo Mari from Flamengo, where Edu Gaspar flew himself to Brazil to sign him. More money down the drain. Martinelli, 6 million. But I don't think this wasn't actually Edu. This was Sanlehi and Emery, if I'm not mistaken. So I cannot put him on him. But overall, it has kind of failed. Although 7 million, it's nothing big. Let's be real, it's not that big of a signing, but at the moment he's playing nowhere near where he should be being. But at the same time, I strongly believe that again, if we were playing the attacking football we played 2 seasons ago, Martinelli would still be a world beater. Because there is no logical explanation besides the fact that we went from attacking football to park the pass pretty much defensive football, and we camp now on the edge of opponent's box playing shoehorn time football with no open spaces, gaps, overlaps and stuff like that. That is not the reason why Martinelli has stagnated and has gotten worse. I strongly believe that that is the actual case. Sorry, not sorry if you agree or not, but that is just my opinion. Dani Ceballos was on loan. Cedric Soares, he was on loan and then we signed him. Why? God knows why. Genuinely, God knows why. Why? I have no idea. And then, of course, there's some loans and stuff like that. Bukayo Saka gets promoted, Joe Willock gets promoted, and Reece Nelson gets promoted. Courtesy of Mr. Unai Emery, by the way. 2021 season, let's see what we did then. First full season, let's see. We signed Thomas Partey on the deadline day. Good signing. Release clauses, job done. Gabriel Magalhaes, arguably the second or third best signing Edu Gaspar has done at Arsenal. Second or third best signing. 100%. Odegaard comes in on loan. Ronaldo, one of the worst signings I have seen in Arsenal's history. And let's be real, I've seen Squillaci, Stepanovs, Almunia and players like that. So let's be real, Ronaldo is genuinely from the trenches to say the least. Willian, on a free. We signed Willian on a free, who stunk out the place. We terminate contract on mutual agreement, then he goes to Fulham and pretty much balls out there. Let's be real, he was balling at Fulham at the time. Matthew Ryan, Emil Smith-Rowe comes in fully. Obviously, Saliba goes out on loan and players like that go out on loans and come, of course, back. Let's move a year forward still. Here we go. We signed Ben White. That actually has worked out as a signing. The thing is though, as a center back, it didn't work out. He was shit at center back. Let's be real. As a right back, he actually is very good. Let's be real. Martin Odegaard joins full time. Whether you rate Martin Odegaard or not, still cannot deny that he is one of the best signings. Let's be real. Aaron Ramsdale signs for 2 seasons. And let's be real. We have wasted around 70 million on signing different types of goalkeepers. Out of those 700 million spent, we have spent 10% solely on goalkeepers to try and replace the best goalkeeper Arteta actually been, who is now playing at Aston Villa, has won the World Cup, has won Copa America and other stuff in Emi Martinez. I think Arteta, in a way, is a very stubborn and very self-critical man to the extreme, because the way he shifts the defenders around, goalkeepers around, you cannot tell me he has PTSD since he binned off Emi Martinez. The way he's shifted basically from one end of the spectrum in attacking football to the other end of the spectrum to fully defensive football, you cannot tell me he has massive PTSD and over self-criticism about the fact that we basically lost because we just attack and couldn't defend. Then next season we go to the best defense in the league and we still couldn't get the job over the line. And this season, we are nor here nor there. We don't have the best defense and we definitely don't have the best attack. At the moment we have, like, I would say arguably a top 6 defense with a top 10 team attack. So if we keep up this season, we will finish, if we are lucky, we're gonna finish top 4. If we keep the same energy throughout the whole season and nothing changes. Whether it's the manager that must change, players in January, complete change of tactics and everything, remains to be seen. But definitely quite a bit needs to be changed at Arsenal for things to start clicking and starting to work over. Takehiro Tomiyasu. I'm not gonna lie, I quite rate Tomiyasu. I really like Tomiyasu. The thing is, he's so injury prone, it has done overall more harm than good for us. So it is what it is. Sambi Lokonga, 18 million euros. That's money well spent. When we signed him, it got advertised as the next Yaya Toure, the Belgian Yaya Toure of midfields. What? He's at the moment with an option to buy at Sevilla. And the way he's playing at Sevilla, I have almost zero belief that they're gonna trigger the buy option clauses because he has been shocking there. Move on, Nuno Tavares. 8 million, so nothing special. Yet at the same time, it never worked out at Arsenal. He got hooked off in 30th minute against Nottingham Forest in the FA Cup. And it never worked out since. Went out on loan to Marseille, went out on loan to Nottingham Forest. But let's be real. There were games when he was fantastic. But there were games he was utterly trash. At the moment, he is at Lazio. He is at Lazio and he is the top assister in Serie A. By the way, Lazio are playing at the moment. Let's check if he has assisted in the goal that they scored against Cagliari. Because he at the moment is top assister in Serie A. No, he hasn't assisted. He has a red card. He cannot even play, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Pellegrini is paying. Yeah, Nuno Tavares got a red card in previous game. What am I even talking about? But yeah, he basically is balling out at Lazio. I think we have an obligation to buy for about 7-9 million. What is the option to buy? Wait. Nuno Tavares obligation to buy Lazio. Here we go. Tavares' current loan deal includes an obligation for Lazio to buy him next summer for just 7.5 million pounds. 7.5 million pounds, basically the same amount we bought him for. But if you now start to look at things and include the goddamn fact that he is balling out there, he's doing the best he can, he has 8 assists in like 9-10 games, and if he keeps this up, he will be worth around 40 million by the end of the season. And if they buy him for 7.5 million, they already have tripled, quadrupled the money they invested in him. And so far, it doesn't look like he's gonna stop. But we need to be cautious about that, mostly because, let's be real, he started similar way at Marseille. Scoring goals, assisting until Christmas, and then he fell off the face of the earth. So let's see how that's gonna go. Then we go and sign Austin Trusty. A PR signing, by the way. Full-on PR signing. Trusted the process. We signed him from Colorado Rapids, by the way. Haha, hey, who'd have thought? A Stan Kroenke club. Wow. Also a winning team. Because Arsenal is the only team that Kroenke's the KSC own that has won nothing. Rugby, they have won the cup. NBA won the cup. MLS won the cup. Cricket or lacrosse or whatever it was, they have won the cup. Arsenal, only team that has won fuck all. And yeah. Anyways, moving swiftly on to 22-23 season when we finished second for the first time. And here we are. We signed Gabriel Jesus, a guy who is not good enough for Man City. We signed Alexander Zinchenko, who is not good enough for Man City. We signed these 2 players. We, in one season, outgrow them as a team. And by signing these 2, we have sponsored Man City signing Erling Haaland. 87 million we bought them for euros, and that's pretty much what Man City played for Erling Haaland to get him there. Good job, Arsenal. Good job. Now we signed Fabio Vieira that summer, 35 million euros. That's money well spent. He comes in, he's injured, then he plays against Brentford, scores a goal in the win. He gets a few key passes here or there, gets a red card against Wolves, then he spends half the time here injured or warming the bench because Arteta doesn't deem him good enough. And now we fast forward to this summer when we, after selling Emil Smith-Rowe, loaned him out back to Porto where we bought him for 35 million, and to add on top of that, he wasn't even a starter at Porto when we signed him. He was coming mostly off the bench. Money well spent, dumbasses. And Edu. Leandro Trossard didn't get Mudryk, Luckily, we somehow dodged the ball with Leandro, with not signing him, and we got Trossard, so that is good. Okay, we signed Leandro Trossard. We thought, okay, cool, we actually have a chance to go for the title here. And then everything basically falls off. We signed Jakub Kivior. Everyone's going, who the hell is this guy? We go for Mudryk, and Edu returns from Italy with Kivior. What? And then on top of that, we sign another Chelsea reject in Jorginho. And those three signings basically were the reason, why we should be winning the league in the first season. We finished 8th 2 seasons ago. Trossard, I get it. These two, you could argue that Jakub Kivior is the reason why we basically got screwed out of the Europa League, because he was tying his goddamn shoelaces when Sporting Lisbon scored, wasn't it? It's like on the same level as Ramsdale watching pigeons while the opposing team is attacking in our own box and we can see the goal. How that has worked out for us. Jorginho, future Arsenal manager, with the way Arteta loves Jorginho, I wouldn't be surprised that in few seasons he is the one of the coaches for under 20 teams because he's doing his coaching badges. Or, by the way, Ballon d'Or winning Jorginho, he could actually become a manager at Arsenal. Wouldn't be shocked the way Arteta is running things. Then we signed Matt Turner, that was money well spent. And of course Marquinhos, the infamous Marquinhos signing, where we should have gotten him for free, but we pay him 3.5 million just to keep good relations with Sao Paulo, which we haven't done together business ever since. But wait, in terms of Marquinhos, there is more where that came from. We signed Marquinhos, and obviously you sit here and think, he's a youngster, he probably is on about what? 5-10 grand a week, right? Right? That's what you think so, right? Well, I'm here to disappoint you. If we scroll back to 22-23 season and we check out how much we are paying Marquinhos, it is right here. If you look at it, the yellow line, it is 30,000 a week for Marquinhos. We're paying 30,000 a week to Marquinhos. A guy who has played 6 games for Arsenal, scored against Zurich and cried his eyes out, who has been on countless loan spells, and none of those loan spells he has done anything. This is good business from Arsenal. Good job, Edu. Genuinely, good goddamn job, Edu. Marquinhos, 30,000 a week. For a guy we should have signed for free, but we pay 3 million just to push into Sao Paulo's pockets to do business later on, and we never do business since. He's not even on loan to Sao Paulo. He's on loan at Fluminense, by the way. Anyways, we fast forward another year. We signed Declan Rice. Okay, cool. Then we sign Donkey Kai, Jurrien Timber. Okay, decent signing. Let's be real, the way he's playing. Okay, the last game he had was the worst game I've seen him play for Arsenal, period. Let's be real. But he had an ACL, so we kind of can forgive him that in a way. We loan in David Raya to replace Ramsdale, who we, by the way, bought only 2 seasons ago for 28 million, and now we sold him for 18 million. So 10 million loss in 2 seasons. A guy who helped us get second in the league, and you instantly freeze him out. Good job, Arteta, in this instance. Because let's be real, Arsenal wanted David Raya before they got Ramsdale. It was the same window. Brentford, or Sheffield, who was it, at the time, didn't want to sell us David Raya. We got Ramsdale instead. Fast forward a few years, Arteta can get his shiny new toy. Screw you, Ramsdale, you're not playing for Arsenal anymore. That's basically how it went. Let's be real. Let's not beat around the bush. That's how legitimately it went. And that's about it. And now let's fast forward to this summer. Obviously we sold Balogun as well. But here we go. We signed Calafiori for 45 million. Merino. Why? David Raya, obviously he was here. We loan in Raheem Sterling, a washed up Jamaican winger. And we loan in Norberto Neto because we let go on Ramsdale. Plus Neto is cup tied in Carabao Cup, so you cannot even use him there. This club is genuinely a joke. It's run by people who genuinely feels like have no goddamn clue how things are being run, why and how they should be run, and what should become as a final result. Because for me, it's trophies. But the way Kroenke's run it, Arteta run it, Edu run it, it looks like it's just basically their own toy. They play how they want. No DD, no pause, and all that stuff. And whatever happens, happens. They just YOLO it. They wing it. That's how it feels like. Especially in the last other games. It feels like we are winging it fully. There's no tactics, no imagination, toothless attack, toothless defense, best defense in the league that concedes every single game. Newcastle hadn't won in Premier League 5 games in a row. Then Santa Claus FC comes along. You know, basically, imagine Christmas, the Coca-Cola bus, and instead of Santa Claus, you have Arteta's face there. Basically. That's what Arsenal are, Santa Claus FC. That's just genuinely embarrassing, pathetic, and just shit. Let's be real. Gaspar, big up Pepper in the chat. Now top Gunners cannot use Edu to deflect. Exactly. Because I was looking at things, thinking it over. The more I was ranting about Edu, how he didn't get some things done. Yes, I'm giving Edu a 3 out of 10 for what he's done at Arsenal. There were some good signings and quite a bit of shit signings and all that stuff, lots of PR and crap like that. But the more I read about the power struggle, the way Mikel Arteta gets his way in the club, that he has extra duties, the way he has final say on who we sign, that if he doesn't want a player, he said that he's not going to sign a new contract, I'm slowly starting to believe that Edu, the sole reason why Edu left, wasn't specifically the Nottingham Forest job, him being a CEO, tripling his wages and stuff like that. But I think he got sick of Mikel Arteta. I'm generally starting to think that Edu is starting to feel like our players on the pitch. Systematic players that are boxed into certain part of the pitch, and basically either you do what Mikel Arteta does or you're screwed. And I think Edu just got sick of that. Obviously, triple increase in salary does its own thing, and of course, and he's the CEO because apparently Edu had ambitions to become CEO at Arsenal. That didn't happen. But I strongly start to believe that obviously wasted money, subpar signings, maybe backlash from Arsenal fans and stuff like that obviously played some role, but I'm starting to feel that it's not as much the mismanaging money and everything. Obviously, I'm happy that he's gone in a way, but I'm starting to feel sorry for the guy because I kind of feel that this narcissistic and stubborn manager in Mikel Arteta is kind of pushed him out of the team, pushed him out of the club, and that's why he's left. I'm starting to slowly feel that way. I think that as well. I think Edu has become disillusioned with Arteta. It's Mikel's... Exactly, it's Mikel's way or the highway. We saw that Aubameyang, Guendouzi, and other lots of players, and I think Edu is the next victim now. I think Edu has been used by... I think it's... I kind of feels like he has been the shield for certain decisions that have been made at Arsenal. And at the moment, as the reports are saying, Arteta, Garlic, and Lewis, basically upper hierarchy, has the final say on who we get as their Edu replacement, which means Arteta will get to sign another yes man. He doesn't want egos, stars, and leadership in the team. He has full team of yes men. Yes sir, I sir, yeah sir, I'm gonna do that sir, don't you worry sir, and basically Saka, Martinelli, and stuff like that. And I think he's gonna sign another yes man. Wouldn't be surprised if Per Mertesacker gets promoted into that position now, given how buddy system works, football friends, we're all a family, and all that crap. Wouldn't be surprised now. But if you look at all these things, again, as I said during the stream, it looks like players are starting to get fed up of this as well. I actually pulled up this article, by the way. I don't know if you... Obviously you have seen it. But yeah, here it goes. Bukayo Saka admits that Arteta insists on Arsenal strikers doing defensive duties first and then only going into attack pretty much. He said that exactly a month ago, on October 4th. Today is November 4th. He said that exactly a month ago. Which means there is no chance that our attackers, who 2 seasons ago played free-flowing, attacking, exciting, dangerous, scintillating, and all these catchphrases, basically crap words, 2 years ago when we played this attacking football, they are satisfied with the crap they have to play now. Because then they had freedom. They could have done something what they wanted. They had open spaces, runs, overlaps, cutbacks, skills, all that stuff. Arsenal didn't win the league. We balled 8 points. Arteta went from attacking one end of the spectrum to full-on park the bus defensive spectrum. And this is not the first time Saka has spoken on this. And I genuinely believe that that is the case. I genuinely believe that that is the case at the moment. They're starting to get fed up of his crap as well, slowly. Well, per Mert, Saka would fit the height. Exactly. We have already basketball defense. Might as well have a basketball management as well. Although Arteta is like 2 feet tall compared to him, so who knows. But yeah, I think on that note, I'm going to end today's stream. I've been ranting enough. I think that should be done and dusted in that regard. If you're new around here, of course, don't forget to smash thumbs up. If you're watching this as a playback, don't forget to leave down in comments below your thoughts on Edu, on Arteta, what you feel about all this situation. Are the wheels starting to fall off? Is it time to panic and all that stuff? Like, comment, subscribe, all those things. See you all tomorrow for Intergame preview. That is going to be a nuts one. What you're saying in the chat. I was listening to a rant from Arsenal Alex today and had an interesting idea. He was crying how this manager has such a hold over people. It's very spooky and almost feels like he's... Exactly, that is the case. Because if you look also at interviews the players give out, the new players that sign, few minutes after talking Mikel Arteta, I was convinced I have to be here. I was convinced I have to stay. This is the best place to be. It's genuinely like he has some sort of a brainwashing spell or something like that to basically to do on them. It's like he plays... If you have watched TV show on Netflix, Lucifer, right? And Lucifer goes, tell me what you desire the most. It's basically what Arteta does to them. Like, genuinely, it feels that way. But yeah, anyways, food for thought and all that stuff, of course. But yeah, I think for today, that will be it for me. If you want to chat with me, you can go on X or Twitter, Mr. Robo19TV and all that stuff. Take care, stay safe. See you all tomorrow. Inter Milan versus Arsenal preview. It's gonna be a nuts one as well, I assume. Let's see what happens tomorrow. So far, Arsenal have lost to Newcastle. Edu Gaspar has resigned with immediate effect and is now at Nottingham Forest. So I'm not sure what's gonna happen tomorrow. Maybe something new is gonna happen. I guess we will have to wait and see. Maybe more injuries or something like that. Who knows? Maybe Win the Dog will get a mate. I don't know, Hope the Dog or something like that. But yeah, take care, stay safe, big up Pepper, big up everyone, Nick, Nathan and all them, man. Big up everyone who watched.